all the scariest facts about space that will keep you up at night. We're diving into cosmic horrors that'll genuinely mess with your head. Right now, invisible rogue black holes are wandering through our galaxy at 45 kilometers per second. But here's the kicker. Scientists have already spotted one just 5,000 light years away, and there could be 100 million more. Today, you'll discover why astrophysicists lose sleep over vacuum decay, gamma ray bursts, and the disturbing possibility we're already doomed. Let's start with something Neil deGrasse Tyson loves to remind us about. Space is trying to kill you. Not metaphorically, not poetically, but literally and creatively in ways your mind probably hasn't even imagined yet. You know how we think of space as this vast, empty void. Well, that emptiness itself is lethal. Step outside without a spacesuit, and you've got about 15 seconds of useful consciousness before things go sideways fast. The saliva on your tongue would start to boil from the lack of pressure. The moisture in your eyes would begin vaporizing. And if you tried to hold your breath, your lungs would rupture from the pressure difference. Your blood won't actually boil. It's protected inside your circulatory system. But the gases dissolved in it would form bubbles, giving you the bends on a cosmic scale. And that's just the appetizer course in the universe's menu of destruction. Here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Charles Liu, the astrophysicist who works alongside Tyson at the Hayden Planetarium, has been studying colliding galaxies for decades, and he'll tell you something that sounds like science fiction, but is absolute fact. Our entire Milky Way galaxy is on a collision course with Andromeda. Now, before you start panicking about that mortgage you just signed, this cosmic car crash won't happen for another 4 billion years. But here's the kicker that Liu points out in his research. When galaxies collide, it's not like two solid objects smashing together. The distances between stars are so vast that individual star collisions are rare. Instead, gravitational forces will tear both galaxies apart and rebuild them into something entirely new. Earth, if it still exists, could be flung into intergalactic space, becoming a frozen, wandering world in the darkness between galaxies. Speaking of darkness, let's talk about something that genuinely freaks out physicists. Dark matter, or as Tyson prefers to call it, dark gravity. We can measure gravity in the universe, right? We see galaxies spinning, stars orbiting, all that good stuff. But when scientists do the math, 85% of the gravity we observe has no visible source. Nothing. Nada. Zip. It's like watching a puppet show where you can see the puppets dancing, but 85% of the strings are invisible. Tyson mentioned this recently. We're not even sure if it's matter at all, which is why calling it dark gravity might be more accurate. Imagine that for a second. The vast majority of the universe's gravitational influence comes from something we can't see, can't detect directly, and don't really understand. Sweet dreams. Let me paint you a picture that'll make your existential crisis look like a minor inconvenience. Ever heard of vacuum decay? This is the one that keeps theoretical physicists up at night, and after I explain it, it might keep you up too. Our universe exists in what we call a metastable state. Think of it like a ball sitting in a little dip on a hillside. It looks stable, it feels stable, but there's actually a deeper valley below. If something gives that ball just the right nudge, it rolls down to the true bottom, the true vacuum state. Now here's the nightmare fuel. If even one tiny region of space spontaneously decayed to this true vacuum state, it would create a bubble expanding outward at the speed of light, destroying everything in its path. Not just destroying like a bomb destroys things, but fundamentally rewriting the laws of physics. Atoms couldn't exist in this new vacuum. Matter as we know it would be impossible. The bubble would be invisible, unstoppable, and could already be heading toward us right now. We'd never see it coming because it moves at light speed, so the light warning us of its approach would arrive at the same moment as our annihilation. Sleep tight. Charles Liu has discussed these cosmic catastrophes in his work with observational galaxy evolution. And here's something even more immediate to worry about: gamma ray bursts. These are the universe's most powerful explosions, releasing more energy in a few seconds than our sun will produce in its entire 10 billion year lifetime. When a massive star collapses into a black hole, or when two neutron stars collide, they can produce these focused beams of pure gamma radiation that shoot across the cosmos like a death ray. The thing is, we detect these going off regularly in distant galaxies. Emphasis on distant, thankfully. But what if one happened in our cosmic neighborhood? Scientists have calculated that a gamma ray burst within 6,000 light years of Earth pointed directly at us would strip away our ozone layer faster than you can say SPF 1000. Without that protective shield, the sun's UV radiation would sterilize Earth's surface, trigger mass extinctions, and basically turn our planet into an inhospitable wasteland. The most unsettling part? We've identified several stars within that danger zone that could potentially go supernova and produce a gamma ray burst. WR-104, located about 8,000 light years away, is pointed almost directly at us and could blow at any time in the next few 100,000 years. In cosmic terms, that's basically tomorrow morning. Here's where things take a turn from physically terrifying to existentially horrifying. Tyson often talks about the Fermi paradox, and the more you think about it, the more unsettling it becomes. Our galaxy contains between 200 and 400 billion stars. Even if only a tiny fraction of those stars have planets, and only a tiny fraction of those planets could support life, and only a tiny fraction of those actually develop life, we should still be swimming in alien civilizations. The math says our galaxy should be teeming with life. So, where is everybody? The silence is absolutely deafening, and it suggests something genuinely disturbing. Maybe there's something called the Great Filter, a nearly impossible evolutionary step that life almost never passes. The terrifying question is, are we approaching it, or have we somehow already passed it? If we've passed it, we might be incredibly, cosmically alone. If we haven't passed it yet, then whatever lies ahead might be an almost certain death sentence for intelligent species. Tyson mentioned something chilling in one of his discussions about this. What if the reason we don't see evidence of advanced civilizations is because something out there is actively hunting them down? What if broadcasting our presence to the cosmos through radio waves and active SETI programs is like a mouse squeaking in a field full of hawks? We've been announcing our presence to the universe for less than a century, and already we're wondering why nobody's answering. Maybe the smart civilizations are the quiet ones. If you're thoroughly disturbed by now, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell, because next week we're diving into the most controversial theories about what's really inside black holes. The mainstream scientists have some wild ideas they're finally starting to discuss openly. Also, drop a comment below about which space fact freaks you out the most. I read every single one and respond to the best discussions. Let's bring this horror show a little closer to home. Our sun, that friendly yellow ball that makes life possible, is slowly getting hotter and will eventually murder everything on Earth. Not in 5 billion years when it becomes a red giant. That's when it'll swallow Earth whole. I'm talking about much sooner. In just 1 billion years, the sun will be about 10% brighter than it is today. That might not sound like much, but it's enough to trigger a runaway greenhouse effect that will boil our oceans and turn Earth into Venus 2.0. Now, here's something that's happening right now that should worry you. The sun isn't as stable as your high school science teacher told you. It has these things called solar flares and coronal mass ejections, and they're basically the sun having violent tantrums that hurl billions of tons of charged particles into space at millions of miles per hour. In 1859, we had the Carrington event, a solar storm so powerful that telegraph wires caught fire and the northern lights were visible in the Caribbean. If that happened today, it would fry satellites, knock out power grids globally, and basically end technological civilization as we know it. The recovery time? Years, maybe decades. And here's the kicker. Various scientific estimates suggest we have somewhere between a 10 to 12% chance of another Carrington-level event per decade. Some researchers put it even higher. Those are genuinely uncomfortable odds when you consider what's at stake. Charles Liu has been involved in discussions about planetary defense, and here's what should really keep you up at night. We've only cataloged a fraction of the asteroids that could end civilization. NASA tracks near-Earth objects, sure, but they're mostly focused on the big ones, the dinosaur killers that are over a kilometer wide. But here's the thing. You don't need a dinosaur killer to ruin everyone's day. The Tunguska event in 1908 was caused by an object probably only 50 to 60 meters across, and it flattened 2,000 square kilometers of forest. If that hit a major city today, we're talking millions of casualties. The really scary part? We've only found about 40% of the near-Earth asteroids larger than 140 meters. These are city killers, and more than half of them are still out there, untracked, unknown. And the smaller ones? The Chelyabinsk meteor that exploded over Russia in 2013 was only about 20 meters across, and we didn't see it coming at all. It injured 1,500 people and damaged thousands of buildings, and we had zero warning because it came from the direction of the sun. Here's a fun fact that astronomers don't advertise. There's something called the Torino scale that rates the impact hazard of asteroids. It goes from 0, no hazard, to 10, global climatic catastrophe certain. We've had objects reach level 4 on that scale. That's close encounter, meriting attention by astronomers. The public usually doesn't hear about these until after they've passed. Makes you wonder what they're not telling us right now, doesn't it? Now let me tell you about something that makes black holes look friendly. Strange matter. This is theoretical, but if it exists, it's the most dangerous substance in the universe. Inside neutron stars, the pressure is so intense that quarks, the building blocks of protons and neutrons, might form a new type of matter called strange quark matter. The terrifying part? This stuff might be more stable than ordinary matter. If a tiny piece of strange matter, called a strangelet, hit Earth, it could theoretically convert every atom it touches into more strange matter. It would be like a cosmic zombie virus for matter itself. The entire Earth could be converted into a hot, dense ball of strange matter in a matter of seconds. The scary part is that cosmic rays could theoretically contain strangelets, and we're bombarded by cosmic rays constantly. We haven't detected any yet, but then again, if one hit us, we wouldn't exactly have time to tweet about it. Here's where I'm going to get a bit controversial, and Neil deGrasse Tyson has touched on this even though it ruffles feathers. Humanity's cosmic significance is essentially zero. The observable universe contains about 2 trillion galaxies. Our galaxy alone has 400 billion stars. If Earth disappeared tomorrow, the universe wouldn't even notice. We're not the center of the solar system. We're not the center of the galaxy. We're not the center of anything. We're living on a speck of dust orbiting an average star in an unremarkable galaxy in a possibly infinite cosmos. Tyson often points out that we're made of the most common elements in the universe: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon. We're not special. The atoms in your body were forged in the hearts of dying stars, sure, but so were the atoms in your toilet. The universe doesn't care about your hopes, dreams, or whether you remembered to call your mother. It's a cold, indifferent void, punctuated by brief moments of fusion-powered light before an eternal darkness. But here's the twist that makes it even more unsettling. If the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics is correct, then every possible version of events happens in parallel universes. There's a universe where that asteroid hits Earth tomorrow. There's a universe where gamma ray burst already sterilized the planet. There's an infinite number of universes where humanity never existed at all. Your existence, this exact moment, this exact universe, it's both inevitable and impossibly unlikely at the same time. While we're worried about cosmic threats, we're actively creating one ourselves that Charles Liu and other scientists are increasingly concerned about: Kessler syndrome. We've got thousands of satellites orbiting Earth, plus millions of pieces of space debris from old missions, explosions, and collisions. Every collision creates more debris, which increases the chance of more collisions. It's a cascade effect that could make space inaccessible for generations. The International Space Station has to dodge debris regularly. In 2009, 2 satellites collided, creating thousands of new pieces of trackable debris. If this cascade really takes off, we could trap ourselves on Earth behind a shell of our own space garbage, moving at 17,500 miles per hour. Imagine trying to explain to future generations that we had the ability to leave Earth, but we literally threw too much trash in our own way. Here's the ultimate cosmic horror, the one that brings together everything we've talked about. The universe is not only hostile to life, it seems almost designed to prevent civilizations from spreading beyond their home worlds. The distances are too vast. The radiation is too deadly. The resources required are too immense. Even at the speed of light, it would take 100,000 years to cross our galaxy. Tyson calculated that with our current technology, it would take 70,000 years just to reach the nearest star. We're trapped in a cosmic prison of physics itself. The speed of light isn't just a speed limit, it's a wall. It means that even if we somehow survived all the gamma-ray bursts, asteroid impacts, and solar flares, even if we somehow avoided destroying ourselves, we're still stuck in this tiny corner of an impossibly vast universe, forever separated from 99.99999% of everything that exists by distances so large that they break human comprehension. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Earth has been around for 4.5 billion years. Humans have existed for maybe 300,000 years. We've had civilization for 10,000 years. We've known about germs for 200 years. We've had spaceflight for 60 years. On the cosmic calendar, where the history of the universe is compressed into 1 year, all of human history happens in the last 14 seconds before midnight on December 31st. We're not even a blip. We're the fraction of a blip, screaming into a void that doesn't even know we exist. But here's the thing, and this is where Tyson and Liu both find wonder rather than despair. The very fact that we know all this is absolutely incredible. A collection of atoms on a tiny rock has figured out the age of the universe, the nature of black holes, the existence of dark matter. We've sent robots to Mars, landed on a comet, and photographed black holes. We're star stuff that has become conscious and is studying its own origins. Yes, the universe is trying to kill us in a million different ways. Yes, we're cosmically insignificant. Yes, we might be alone. But we're here, right now, aware and alive against all odds. Every single one of us is a temporary arrangement of ancient atoms that somehow learned to think and dream and love and create YouTube videos about how terrifying space is. That's not nothing. That's everything. Remember, we're all in this cosmic horror show together, floating on a pale blue dot through an infinite darkness filled with things trying to kill us. Sweet dreams, space fans. Stay curious, stay terrified, and most importantly, stay subscribed. This is your friendly neighborhood Cosmos correspondent signing off, reminding you that in space, no one can hear you scream. But on YouTube, everyone can hear you hit that subscribe button. Peace out, star stuff.